Namaste and welcome back. So let's talk a bit about our mind, our instrument, the voice in our head that we mistake for our identity. As human beings, we are blessed with this amazing faculty. But since nobody gave us an instructions manual for this highly evolved instrument, we're getting into trouble, right? We're constantly in trouble with this voice in our head, right? We allow the mind to do whatever it wants, instead of using its amazing capacities like memory or imagination only when we need them. Instead, the mind pulls us into the past or the future whenever it wants, right? See, if we knew more about how our mind works, we could make it work for us. And that's what the ancient wisdom teachings like the yoga philosophy books reveal to us. They are the science of the mind, and they explain to us how the human mind works and how to deal with it, how to make it work for you. See, in most of our cases, the mind has taken over, and we have become like servants to our own instrument. We wrongly limit our identity to the content of our mind, and that causes us so much emotional suffering. And that's also why we struggle with life and our relationships. I'm here to translate what I have learned from the ancient scriptures and my masters to help you understand and work your instruments and remember and experience who you are. Because that's the only way to truly enjoy your life. That's the only sustainable way, actually. So in this mini course, you get like a glimpse, a taste about it. And if you're curious, you're invited to join my year-long course, Inner Revolution, where you will dive much deeper into this subject. We have much more time. And I can also teach you many, many more tools to master your mind and your emotions, your energies, And once you know how to do that, the quality of your relationships will automatically improve. So let's get back. So from a spiritual view, everything in life is one. Everything is connected, but to the limited human mind, everything appears to be separate and different from each other, right? See, we experience the world around us through a pair of eyes, two eyes. And with this pair of eyes, we experience nature. And what's the nature of nature? Duality, polarities. We see either good or bad. I like or I don't like. But when we meditate, we focus on our third eye, the point between our eyebrows, our Ajna chakra. And this is only one single eye. And with this one single eye, we can experience our true nature, oneness. No separation, no diversity, no polarity, no good or bad, just that. Unconditional balance and bliss. That's why we concentrate on this point as well. The human mind, see, it is filled with certain ideas, beliefs and values about yourself, the world, how life should be, how others should treat you, how you should be, and that makes up an identity, what you maybe want to call ego. And what gives the mind the feeling of being a single separate entity of life, of being different from any other human and living being. And that is the root for most of the mind's suffering or pain or unease. See, our mind feels to be different from others, and so it constantly compares itself with others. Now, if your mind compares itself with someone better than us, it experiences low self-esteem or unease. And if it compares itself with someone who is less fortunate than ourselves, than the mind, it experiences high self-esteem. It feels okay. See, so when you grow up, your mind is like a sponge. It takes all its environment, all of life in, and it gets programmed. And you start identifying with a name, a mentality, a nationality, certain ideas about right and wrong, and ideas about what is good and what is bad. You start to feel different from other living beings. You start to feel different from everyone who has different ideas programmed into their mind. And you think you have to choose a side. You think you are in a certain way and can't change that. Your life starts to be limited, right? Because of those ingrained beliefs and values. And you're not able to enjoy or to peacefully experience anything that somehow does not resonate with your mind's ideas, anything or anyone that is not in accordance with your own mind's ideas is causing you unease. And your whole experience of life is now depending on your mind's content and attitude, on the program your mind, your instrument is running on. And that is a limited experience of life. And because deep down, below all the layers and stories of your created identity, you are an unlimited existence, a soul, consciousness. This limited experience will never be enough. And that's why you somehow will always look for more. Maybe that's the explanation why we are not satisfied, because deep down we remember who we are and we want to get there to this unlimited experience. So, what happens? Now, life just happens, right? But your mind starts to put everything that happens into a category. Everything is either good or bad. And again, if something your mind values as good, if something your mind values as good happens, right? Your mind is happy, and in the opposite case, your mind is unhappy. That's as easy as it gets. But in reality, life just happens. There is no good or bad. There is simply duality. And it depends where you grow up, right? What you consider as good might be considered bad in my society. So what is right? What is true? What's reality? See, for example, talking about relationships. If you were a Mormon, you could have several wives, no problema at all. If you grew up Christian, you go to a hell if you choose to be with more than one wife. So your mind becomes this collection of stories others have told you and taught you, a collection of education, intellectual knowledge, impressions and experiences. And these form your mind's content, your mind's beliefs about life in general, about yourself, and about relationships. And based on those beliefs, you're making decisions. You're making your choices. So you grew up. Let's say you grow up with fairy tales, right? Everybody grows up with the same fairy tales. And the belief that every princess needs to find her prince. Otherwise, she will be sleeping forever in a tower of a castle. And who wants that, right? So if later in life, you might encounter difficulties finding your prince, you believe that something is wrong with you, right? Because every princess needs to find the prince. You'll start playing with dolls and the belief that having kids is a crucial part of life. But later in life, if you encounter troubles with having kids, getting pregnant, or if you just don't feel like being a parent, you again think that something is wrong with you, because that belief that having kids is crucial in life was programmed into your mind. Every princess needs to find her prince, programmed into your mind. If it doesn't happen, something must be wrong with you. And every time in life does not happen according to the beliefs programmed into your mind, you experience unpleasant emotions, you suffer emotionally. And you also develop, obviously, certain beliefs about relationships, right? Based on your experiences. Maybe you always saw your father, your dad, bringing your mom flowers, and that made your mom feel so loved and happy. She would always say, look how much your dad loves me, bringing me flowers. And now as an adult in your relationship, if your guy does not bring you flowers, you think he doesn't love you enough. Or maybe something a negative experience. I see, maybe you saw your parents always fighting and then getting a divorce, and then you saw your father leave the family for another woman. That can ingrain the painful belief in your mind that you're not good enough, that not even your own father loves you enough to stay. You believe you're not worthy of love. And that can cause you difficulty in loving yourself and respecting yourself. And in your future relationships, maybe you will always try to put other people's needs first because you're so scared that everyone will leave you like your father. Maybe you also have trust issues that lead to problems in your relationships. I just want to know that you understand how everything is connected, right? So maybe when you were a kid and wanted your father's attention and love, maybe you always had to be the best in school, the best in the soccer team, the best in the dancing team, the best cheerleader, or nothing you did was ever good enough for him. See? And now as an adult, Maybe you always doubt yourself, or you always think you could have done better. You have become a perfectionist, and you're super self-critical, or maybe you even have difficulties, taking decisions because you always doubt yourself because of this past experience, those beliefs that it's so hard to be good enough, or that you can't never be good enough, or you always have to be the best, right? Maybe these beliefs are ingrained in your mind. And I want you to understand that the mind is your instrument and that you can reprogram your mind anytime. And that thoughts, ideas, emotions, and beliefs can only exist as long as you give them your attention. Remember, you heard that before. Thoughts cannot exist without consciousness. Thoughts cannot exist, beliefs cannot exist without you. So if a certain belief about yourself, about relationships, or life in general doesn't serve you anymore, there's nothing else but limit you in your experience of life. When a belief does not contribute to your highest goals or your inner balance and joy anymore, then it's time to make an upgrade, right? We can't run our mind always on the same beliefs or all our life. Remember, life is change. And if we still run our mind on an old program, on the beliefs that were ingrained in our mind when we were little kids, or the beliefs that are based on past experiences, we cannot function at our best in the present. We cannot enjoy the present moment fully. And we can never become the person we really want to be today, or have the relationship we really want to have today. And this is why I would like to ask you to make an inventory of your mind. What beliefs are you carrying in your mind? On what beliefs do you base your decisions? What are the beliefs about yourself and life and relationships that limit you in a way? What are the beliefs that cause you emotional suffering? Think back. Think back to your earliest years as a human being. How did you have to behave to get your mom's or your dad's attention? How did you have to behave? How did you have to be to feel appreciated by your mom and by your dad, to feel really loved? How did you have to be, and who did you have to be? And then ask yourself, now that you're an adult and you can freely decide who and how you want to be, do you notice that you still behave sometimes like the little kid who wants to get attention and appreciation from his parents? Let me tell you something about myself. When I grew up as an only child, right? And my dad loves me, I love my dad, but I think he always wanted to have a boy, or he just didn't really know what to do with a girl, so but I love him. When I was little, and I wanted to be close to my dad, I had to be like the boys, right? My dad would give me cars instead of dolls to play with. And instead we would go and cut trees, work with hammer and screwdriver, fix stuff. And I did learn a lot of useful stuff. But then later, as an adult, I noticed that I was still behaving like the boys. Like I always try to challenge myself, to be fearless, have courage, never show vulnerability or weakness, always be tough, I wanted to be treated like a woman in my relationships, but I behaved like a guy. So it was only maybe in my late 30s, I think, that I decided that I can be a very feminine human being and at the same time be able to use a screwdriver. See, at a certain age, you have to realize that as you do not have to prove anything anymore to your parents. You don't have to fight for their love and attention anymore. Your parents love you anyways. And I realized that I don't have to be always strong and tough like a guy. And now, in my present relationship, the roles are clear now. I am the woman, Luke is the man. And since our roles are clear, everything has changed and our relationship is much more harmonious. See, I changed a belief from, in order to be loved, you have to be always tough and strong and don't show feelings, to, I'm a beautiful, lovable woman who shows her feelings without being scared of the consequences. So, whenever a doubt comes up in my mind, And yes, the mind tries to challenge you, right? It plays with you. I immediately repeat my new updated belief. I shift my awareness, my focus, the consciousness I am on my new belief and program it into my mind, into my brain, while I keep repeating it to myself. That's what I do. And the practice you have been doing, the just sitting down and the concentrating on the present moment, this practice you've been doing helps you to simply observe life and observe your mind, but without the need to react compulsively to it. And that is why your practice of sitting and doing nothing is so important and valuable. It teaches you that you do not have to react to everything your mind throws at you. You can choose where your focus, your awareness goes, and that determines how you feel. During your practice, you try to keep your focus maybe on your breath or on your third eye. In daily life, you try to keep your focus on the good, on everything you have done, on everything you have achieved, on everything you're grateful for, the tiny little details of life that are good in every single moment. Or you keep your focus on the beliefs that motivate actions and responses that bring you closer to your goals. You are training your mind to do what serves you. And now in daily life, if you simply observe your mind and it starts to complain or it comes up with unpleasant thoughts and resistance, you just shift your focus. You take your attention away from it. You do not believe everything your mind says. You don't take every thought seriously. You don't simply react compulsively to everything your mind, that voice in your head says, but instead you make conscious choices that bring you closer to your ultimate goal, a joyful human experience, inner balance, inner peace, and harmonious human connections, relationships, right? So after observing your mind for a while and knowing your limiting beliefs, you know why your mind comes up with certain thoughts or with self-criticism. You know then where it comes from, right? And then you simply smile at your mind and you tell your mind, like as if you were talking to your inner child, right? I know, don't worry, I understand you, but I have changed. I am enough. I am worthy. I am lovable. And everything is available to me. And you keep your focus on your new empowering beliefs. What happens within you is your business. How you feel is your business. Remember this. Your beliefs determine what meaning you give to life events and other people's behavior. And the meaning you give determines your emotions. And your emotions motivate your actions and responses to life and others. And your actions determine your results and the quality of your life and relationships. Remember this. So you want to make sure you're carrying only beliefs that bring you closer to a joyful human experience and quality relationships. But that's your business. That's your inner work. Only you can do. You have to program those beliefs into your instrument simply by repetition. Everything you repeat continuously, you will eventually become good at. And every empowering belief you keep repeating continuously will eventually be programmed in your mind and you'll do your upgrade. But, as long as you think you are the mind and have no power over your instrument, you are just the separate and limited created identity, and you identify with your mind's content, its limiting old beliefs and impressions and stories and experiences, and your life will be a struggle and a roller coaster of emotions where you have no control and you will feel powerless. You will chase all your life after what your mind believes you need. Everything your mind believes you need to be happy and okay, and you will try to get rid of everything your mind believes to be unpleasant. Plus, you will always try to maintain and defend your created identity all the time, right? I am like this, and people have to see me this way. It's exhausting. And then while the magic of life keeps happening right in front of you, you're missing out on its beauty because you're too busy satisfying your mind's needs and desires. And if you're so involved all the time with this voice in your head, how are you supposed to even see the prince if he rides by? All right? So spirituality provides you the ancient wisdom of the enlightened masses and practices that help you to experience life and yourself beyond the limitations of the human mind and to feel that you are one with all, that we are one. See, life is a game and we're all just playing different roles in life. We're all just manifesting in different forms and shapes. But the thing that is important that is you can change your role whenever you want to. Change your beliefs, change your role. Change. This body and mind are part of life and the nature of this life is change. So you have to change, right? And create the change you want. If you play all your life the same character, life becomes boring, right? So once you realize this ultimate truth, there are no more feelings of loneliness or diversity or competition. There is no more comparison, no more causing pain, because what I do to another living being, well, if you're all one, I'm doing it to myself, right? Because beyond our different form, we are one, the same consciousness, the same energy. That's, for example, why yogis don't eat meat, because they say, we are causing so much harm and suffering to these animals, and then we consume all these negative and low vibrational energies. We harm ourselves, right? So what I want you to know is when you understand who you are and you master your instruments, you will not suffer anymore because of your mind. Because you will know that you're not that. So I hope you keep your daily practice going. And I just want you to collect experiences. Remember that. Not knowledge or successes, or just experience yourself and life around you for what it is, without judgment. Judgments come from your mind and they immediately limit you in a way, right? Because once you put a label on something, that's it. Doors are closed. But if you take the judgments away, then a whole new world of possibilities will open to you. Life will be exciting, right? If you have the belief, all men are just want to hurt me, what possibilities of having harmonious relationships do you have, right? So you want to step beyond the fixed ideas of your mind and explore life within and without, but totally freely, right? So enjoy your doing nothing practice. Do your mental inventory. See what program your mind is running on, what you maybe can renew, where those beliefs come from, and let me know. Send me an email if anything is not clear, right? And tell me about your experience. Maybe there's something you need help with. Don't hesitate. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.